there's not wrong with any system. It is all about, can the players execute that system? And if they can't, yeah, then you need to adapt, in my opinion. Otherwise you keep trying to do the same things and nothing changes. I mean, in the modern game, in my opinion, yes, people sometimes start from, you know, whether it is a 4-3-3 and very quickly can go to a 3-4-3. You know what I mean? It flows, you know what I mean? Depending how the game evolves, depending on, you know, what the opposition does, what kind of system that they play. I said from the start, I don't think it was wise for him to say, I want to play 3-4-3 and this is what I'm going to do and I'm not going to change. I think he should have said, listen, I am in favour of 3-4-3. I had a lot of success with it. I really hope that I can make it work at Manchester United, but I first need to have a look at the players that I've got. I need to look at the Premier League because it's a completely different league than obviously Portugal. And you know, if it doesn't work, then I have to be a little bit creative and maybe adapt here and there. That he would have given himself far more freedom, as now you got it's almost sort of a witch hunt to say the system, which obviously doesn't help because every time they fall short, people start asking the same question.
The stick that just gets used to beat Amorim is the system. Is it the system? What do you, when you outside looking in, what's going on at Manchester United?
I think it's a combination. I think, yes, it is the system because you're putting that out, you know? So when you're putting a system in, you have to have the players that can deliver that way of playing. But then also, it's how many goals and how many goals do you score? How many goals do you get against, and how many goals do you score? How many opportunities do you create? You know, and we know Man United always as a club, as a team, that was always creating lots of chances. When you are coming to Old Trafford, you know you're going to have a hard game. You know that you have to ride your luck. You know that they're going to get chances or they're going to create chances. At the moment, that team is not creating chances. And also, how many attacking players have they got on the pitch? You know? And that for me is the main thing. You have 3 defenders, 2, majority of the time, fullbacks playing wing backs, 1 defensive midfielder. You know, so yes, Fernandes is playing central, and then you have 2 wide players with 1 striker. That's 4 attacking players, really. Is that enough for Man United to create chances?
It's not how other teams play, is it? You know, Liverpool, they play with far more attacking, so did Arsenal at the weekend.
It is not, yeah, exactly. You know, it isn't. And if he says, no, it's not about that, it's about whatever, okay, how many chances do you create? For me, they are not creating enough chances. You know? Man United was always getting chances when Ferguson was manager, they used to play 1v1. Now, I understand at the back. Now, I understand you can't play like that no more. But they were always front foot and trying to get opportunities, try to create chances. They're not creating chances. They're not creating chances. I'm not saying that you have to play as Alex Ferguson was playing, but every top team, they create chances. They create chances. So get your team set up that you at least creating chances.
And that falls with Amorim then?
That falls with Amorim, yes.
And even Sir Alex Ferguson, his teams didn't always play the same way. You know, a lot of the time he had his flying wingers, they played 4-4-2, but in Europe, he realised that you couldn't play like that. And he started parking the bus in Europe. And when they did have success in the Champions League, they weren't always a great watch. So even a manager as great as Sir Alex Ferguson realised that you had to be flexible in the way your sides played if you wanted to be successful.
Also, back in Alex, in their defence, and I'm certainly not being disparaging about the current set of players, but they did have phenomenal players you're talking about, the Solskjaers. You know, that team back in 1999, you know, would have beaten anyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's like we're talking about history all the time with Manchester United. And when do we stop talking about history and start talking about the here and now? So actually they haven't got the players right now.
Okay, but then the question is, the players that he have, are they better than the position that they're in the Premier League? We all know that they are not good enough to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
But are they better than the points that they have accumulated now? Yeah, are they better than that? I think they are. Yeah. So, is he getting the best out of his players? No. You know. So forget about the formation. Forget about the formation. Are the players better than the points that they have got at the moment? I would say yes.
One final question, because I know you'll probably talk about this in the show at 7 o'clock. Is the right thing to do, though, is to get rid of Ruben Amorim? Because we know what actually longevity with managers actually gets success.
Yeah.
And yes, they have their sticky patches. Klopp had a sticky patch in his first year in charge. Mikel Arteta, they stuck with him and look where they are. So do they stick with Amorim and
Yes.
actually they will achieve more?
I don't want to see managers getting the sack.
No.
I don't want that. But when you're talking about Arteta, when you're talking about the best managers, the managers that win the most, they're flexible. They're flexible. When yes, they have got their identity and they want to play a certain way and they want a certain formation and they have got their favorite way. But when they don't have the players, when they don't have the personnel, they adapt. They adapt to the situation until they can get what they want. He doesn't want to adapt. He does not want to adapt. That for me is a problem. It's a big problem. You have to be flexible.
You know Harry Kane extraordinarily well. How much of a loss would he be if this injury does indeed carry on?
Well, a big loss, obviously. He's the best striker